49er rush. Niners all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
Oh, man. I don't know how you guys are doing. I'm hurting, man. I'm hurting. It came down so close, and there was so much to the entire game that the 49ers had no business being in this damn game. They had none. And to get to the point where, again, that false hope, this team, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, right? Like we talked about that just earlier this week. And man, you got the loss at the end. Now, a couple things, and we're going to be here for a while, so let's get it out. And so this is going to be a therapy session now. Like, get it off your chest. And there's a lot of takeaways from this game. A lot of takeaways. You know, there's blame to go around. There's no doubt about that. And we could focus on that, and we're going to do that. But there's also some people don't deserve as much blame as we think that they should have. You could say whatever the hell you want. I'm wearing a Jimmy G Garoppolo jersey today because he's the starting quarterback for the team in which I cover, and I'm a fan of. He played awful. However, our biggest critique of Jimmy has been he never answers the call when the moment's big. He answered the damn call today. You say whatever it is you want. Yeah, he had some of the biggest bonehead plays ever. There's no doubt about that. However, he answered the call. Jimmy Garoppolo did enough for this team to win the game. You go down and you drive, what was that, 75 yards, right? It's 75 yards to win the game. And he did it. 8 plays, 75 yards in 2 minutes. Gave his team the lead with 37 seconds left. That is enough. Was Jimmy good quarterback today? No. But when we needed him most, he was exactly what we needed. You know, you look at his stats, 25 for 40, that's not good. 257 yards, all right. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, not great. But 4 sacks, 26 yards, we'll talk about that. And that fumble, that was, oh my gosh. It took a lot for me to not use some very harsh terminology on Twitter after that play because it was, I don't know how to, it was a weak play. I'm trying my hardest to censor myself right now. But that play was despicable, inexcusable, but he responded. And this is who Jimmy's been, right? We lose the game, and Jimmy is a major factor in that. But this is what he does to us, right? Like, he leaves that little bit of like, oh, but you know what? I gave you a chance to win the game. We didn't win because of Jimmy. But man, our defense, I think it goes on to our defense, and we've got to talk about that. Some adjustments were made. So first off, let's go through the defensive game plan that was set up. And it's twofold. We spotted them 10 points because of our defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans. He came out and was absolute garbage. I knew having, you know, a player, a coach that's never called a defense before, ever was going to cost us. And he got way too cute. The first 2 drives, he kept doing 3-man blitzes on 3rd and long. What the hell is wrong with you? You don't do that. We gave up 10 points because of that. Okay? The good news is he adjusted out of that. And then we got into the cornerback problem. We only had 3 active cornerbacks at the end of the game. Number 27, Demo, and Emmanuel Mosley. All of whom really didn't play awful. There were definitely some awful moments, but all of them actually had some, you know, good plays. And once we got the personnel figured out, and you put Demo back outside and 27 in the slot where he belongs. 27's never been an outside corner despite his size. The defense settled down. Their number one play was pass interference calls. There's no doubt about that. Almost was 90-plus yards on pass interference calls alone. And the refs were just trash. I'm chatting with a whole bunch of Green Bay fans and all that stuff during the game, and we're both feeling the same way, that we're getting screwed by these refs, and we're both right. And any time that you have two separate fan bases that are absolutely pissed off at the refs because they're the biggest factor of the game, that is not correct. That's not what the NFL wants. That's not what fans want. That's not what teams want. But yeah, there were some terrible calls. Both of those pass interferences early on were not pass interference. They were not catchable. Not catchable balls. You want to call defensive holding? All right, then we can talk about that. But when the cornerback's in position, the wide receivers on my left, they throw the ball on the right, I am allowed to have my position. I don't have to get out of his way as he goes to the ball. Okay? Now, one, if you make a play on the ball, they don't call that. And two, those were not catchable passes. The entire Green Bay offense was, they're in man coverage, throw it deep, allow the zebra to bail us out. And it happened repeatedly. So, as a coaching staff, you have to decide, okay? Number one, are we going to stay in this? We know how they're calling the game. They called it consistently as far as pass interferences go. They were calling everything pass interference, including on us, on our side. And so if you know they're going to continue doing that, D'Amico Ryans, you've got to change. You're allowed to change your coverage. You're allowed to. Take that for what you will. Now, they didn't call offensive pass interference. I put a picture out there. It showed it was 3rd and 5. They're blocking 2 guys while the ball's in the air 5 yards down the field. You have a 1-yard line rule. That's the rule. That's the playbook. And we missed that. Again, the refs were awful. And on both sides. Let me tell you this right now. And again, you can go back and read through my Twitter feed. That Jimmy Garoppolo play right before the half, that was intentional grounding to the definition. There was nobody else around. We got by with that one. We got 7 points because of that no call. Their coach was right. I tweeted it out right as soon as that play happened. I was like, that's intentional grounding. But they didn't call that. Now, the play on Davante Adams, man, as a safety, you're taught to close so much speed, and you can see Ward as he's going to hit, get his head to the side, but the side of his helmet still hit the face mask, which by rule, right, helmet-to-helmet contact, it should have been a penalty. It was a no call. I'm a defensive guy. I don't think anything is a penalty. I think you should just be able to destroy people back there, but that's not right either. I'm glad Davante Adams come back, and he made the key catch down to win the game on that winning drive. But I would prefer that over him being out. I don't like people getting injured, even if it means a win. That's just not part of it. What's up, Carnus? He says, John, make me feel better. Seems like we don't have Super Bowl secondary with all these injuries, penalties. Isn't time to give Lance more reps? There's a lot there. We do not have a Super Bowl secondary. We never had a Super Bowl secondary. The way that this team is architecturally built is dominant defensive front and linebackers and good safeties, and we're going to coach up our corners. Now, that works. However, they flashed the stat up in the fourth quarter, and I think it was even better than 16 for 16. I think Aaron Rodgers was 18 for 18 when he let go of the ball in under 2.5 seconds. I don't care what your pass rush is. I don't care. Nick Bosa played lights out, but it was catch, throw, catch, throw. That's just what it was. On the very first drive, where Marquez Valdez-Scantling beat our rookie for that huge fade for 40 yards. Nick Bosa's left tackle didn't touch him. Bosa, again, once we get to all 22 in the Patreon, we'll break this down. He posts outside and comes back under, completely whiffed the tackle. But it didn't matter because of his catch. Even though it was a 40-yard pass, catch, he's backtracking, just throws it like that. Bosa was right in front of his face, but it doesn't matter. A big reason why, Tom Brady wins, he's not mobile, it's because he's decisive and he knows how to recognize man coverage and he gets the ball out quick. This game felt like the Miami Dolphins game of 2020. You guys remember Fitzpatrick just cooking us because, again, we had injuries at corner. We're playing man coverage. We're not going to change what we do, and we just got rocked. The difference, and again, let me try to make you feel a little bit better right here, Carnus. The difference, we came back. It felt like we were getting smoked, man. We had no business in that game. We got the lead with 37 seconds left. We're close. And I'll tell you this. Kyle Shanahan basically threw out his entire game plan because he has no faith in Trey Sermon. And rightfully so. Trey Sermon sucked. Whenever I say like Trey Sermon looked bad, like no. Trey Sermon went backwards on his first play, dropped the next pass, and Shanahan said, get the hell out of the game and put Kyle Juszczyk as our predominant running back, which Juszczyk's amazing in, pass catching and blocking. But we completely alleviated our entire running game. We had 7 rushes, I think, the first half. Like, you cannot do that, especially when your identity is built on run blocking. So whenever you turned your team into a one-way, hey, we're airing the ball out, that's just what we're going to do, even though that's not how we're built, but whatever, it's going to go poorly. We threw the ball 40 times. Ran the ball 21. And when you run the ball for 21 times for only 67 yards, that ain't cutting it. It's not effective. And so this was a bad defense we played against, but we were one-dimensional because of all the injuries. So now the question turns to this, and I think this is kind of the key that we should be focusing on. Do we address the personnel issue of corners and running backs? Because we don't have them. We got D linemen. We got O linemen. That's great. We have no corners. We have no running backs. Now, I personally think Demo and Emmanuel Mosley are fine outside, but when number 27 is your backup outside on both sides and nickel guy, now you're in trouble. Emmanuel Mosley, K'Wan Williams went out on that first drive, which he's the one that got burned, not Demo. I think I said that wrong a while ago. Josh Norman, he can't finish a game. He's old, whatever. You've got to address things. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, Richard Sherman, all that stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, you got to do something. You want to trade? We don't have draft capital. We've got some issues. And guess who do we got next week? We got Seattle. We got Russell Wilson. Now, if we played the Packers again right now, let's say we lined up everybody out of the locker room right now, let's play again. I feel very confident about that. Again, defensive coordinator, I was so pissed off. At least he fixed his adjustments. You don't spot Aaron Rodgers 10 points on the road because you're trying to get cute. What the hell was that, man? Oh, I was pissed. From PG, thanks for the gift, man. He said, refs are not trash. Yeah, it was a bad game on both sides. He says Jimmy G lost us this game, and if you want to talk about those turnovers, that's fine. The first turnover where he threw it deep, I don't think that was a bad read. I think it was a bad throw. He spotted single high, man coverage, and the safety was off to the side. And again, all 22 is going to be key there. I think it was the right read to Kittle deep. The problem was he just put so much air under it. Like, come on, man, get the ball there. That you gave the safety so much time to get over the top. Like, that was the problem. And again, the problem was that was the first play of that drive. How many turnovers? Jimmy has 3 turnovers currently on the first play of a drive, and we've only played 3 games. Remember, week 1, it was the snap, the very first play of the game. This one was the interception to Kittle on the first play of a drive. And then again, gosh, man, I'm going to say something I regret. The play where he just completely gave up and was a wuss and was like, and just like, take a hit, man. I know you don't want to get hurt. Man up. This is football. You got pads on. What's this? What is that? Like, I'm wearing your jersey. Like, I'm insulted by that play. I love the way he responded, right? So you have to provide context to the whole situation. Jimmy G responded. He gave his team a chance to win in the end. But golly, how often are we going to put up with this, like, and again, the very next drive, he did that thing where he had pressure in his face and he's just like, oh, don't hit me. It doesn't step into it. At some point, you got to man up. You got to man up. You got to man up. From Tobin, he says, Jimmy's so bad. I agree. It was a bad performance, man. But yeah, and then he says, how can Adams be so wide open? Well, we went to our prevent defense and we wanted to catch the ball in the middle. They did. They executed it better than we thought. If you want to put anything on that last drive, our Mike linebacker, Fred Warner, who's one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL, has to get deep. You're dropping your safeties back in a shell, so nobody can get behind them. And then you have your 3 under. They got to get more depth, and they got to keep climbing. But there's going to be pockets there. That's a zone buster route, and they nailed it. It was bad, man. But again, you can't put this on Fred Warner. That play, maybe, but that's tough because he's reading the quarterback, and he's gaining depth. Meanwhile, I mean, it's the exact same thing we do with Debo, just on a deeper concept. Instead of, that 13 to 15 where Debo hooks behind the linebackers, you're doing it 20 to 25, and they did it back-to-back plays, 50 yards, field goal, end of story. Our defensive coordinator not pleased. Really not pleased with anything that he brought today. Just not there. Tobin, again, he said, what in the world did they see in Sermon? I don't know. I see somebody that's weak and somebody that's hesitant and somebody that has no confidence. Head job. Like, it's just not here. And the first play, he tried to run backwards. What the hell is that? Shanahan was livid. And, man, if we get Elijah Mitchell back, that's great. We get Jermichael Hasty back, that's great. We get Jeff Wilson back, that's great. We're not getting him back anytime soon. I think Elijah Mitchell plays next week. But you can't just have one running back. You got to coach up somebody or get somebody else out there. And this is another problem is because we activated. We had Kerryon Johnson. We had Jaquez Patrick, right? And we had Trenton Cannon. And we had Trey Sermon. We never got any of those guys any reps. They were on special teams. But, man, at some point, let's give somebody else a shot. We know Trey Sermon ain't it. We know that he's not it. It's very clear he's not it. So, why don't we try to get somebody else out there? That was the problem, right? They have Kyle Juszczyk as our running back in a spread system, like in our zone system. That's not going to fly. That's just not what we do. That's not it's not going to work. I love Kyle Juszczyk. He's incredible. He made the play of the day. Should have been a hero with that touchdown he scored late. It willed his way in there, which is awesome. But it didn't work out that way. It didn't work out that way. And so that's just, again, you keep going through this and you try to figure out, like, hey, how do we stop doing this? You can go back to the Super Bowl. We didn't do enough to win that game. This time we did enough to win the game. I'm putting a lot of this on the DC, man. I really, really am. And I think that's kind of where we are. Now, let's take a step back, all right? Let's talk about some good things. Let's give something away. We put this out on Twitter. This is a youth Nick Bosa jersey, and I want to say thank you to everybody that participated. Let's give this away. Let's bring some positivity to this community because I think it's important. And if this is your first time with us, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's important. We do giveaways every month. It's just what we do. And this one goes to, I want to say congratulations to AJ. His Twitter handle is @Alvarado AJ36. Just want to say thank you, man. Really appreciate you. So go ahead and DM me on Twitter @JL_Chapman, or you can email me 49ersrushpodcast@gmail.com so I can get this in the mail to you. So again, AJ Alvarado, just want to say congratulations, man. And we usually, this is our first youth jersey that we've given away, and I did this on purpose because I thought it was important. I became a 49ers fan because of a jersey when I was 9 years old because I had a terrible stepdad and I wanted to piss him off. And so I grew up in Dallas. I had a stepdad that like diehard Cowboys fan. And so I basically asked him, like, hey, man, buy me this jersey just to piss him off. And sure enough, I've been running since. So I'm trying to build the faithful up for tomorrow. So hopefully, AJ, you can get that gift to a cousin, nephew, son, whatever, and get somebody on our side and start building this up because I think that's important. I just want to say thank you for your support. And everybody that did win, stay close, baby, because we got more. We're going to be giving away more stuff. That's who we are. I love this. Rufus, thanks for the gift. He says, John, I'm blown away by your level head. Here's some positivity. Juice is a hero and so glad the Niners paid him. It was the right move. And there are positives, okay? And here's some of those positives. Bosa dominated this freaking game, okay? The very first drive alone, I wrote this down. I thought this was interesting. The very first drive alone, Nick Bosa had a pass breakup, a tackle for loss, and drew a personal foul call against the offensive lineman on the first drive. So, how did the Packers respond? They said, look, no more long passes. We're chipping them every single play. Nick Bosa got double and triple teamed every single play of the game. Now, whenever that happens, that means somebody else has to do something. That didn't really happen very much. Eric Armstead got his first sack of the season. I thought that was awesome. And again, after that sack, they basically said, catch and release. Catch, let it go. Catch, let it go. Catch, let it go. And we showed them we never disguised our coverage. We're just going to stay in man, press man. And so we kept having our corners turn our back to Rodgers. Can't do that. And he burned us. Tommy says the defense lost this game plain and simple. I'm with you. I'm going to say the defensive coordinator lost this game plain and simple. That and the Jimmy stupid play. That one stupid play. Jimmy was bad for the first quarter again. I don't want to turn this into a Jimmy. I'm wearing his damn jersey. I'm not doing this mockingly. I'm doing this because he's the quarterback of my team. Kyle Shanahan's not switching quarterbacks. All right. So, for all the people that are like, oh, it's Trey time, I'm not disagreeing with you. I do want Trey to get more snaps. But Shanahan is so, what's the word? Stuck in his ways. He's not changing this. So, Jimmy's here, guys. That's happening. Maybe we could trade Jimmy for a running back at a corner. I don't know who would take him right now. I don't think he's been bad, Jimmy Garoppolo, but I don't think we're going to get a starting corner and running back out of that deal. And defense was bad. And we knew there were going to be adjustments. Remember when Robert Saleh first stepped in? He was notorious for no game adjustments. And if one play beats you, it's going to beat you forever. I'm curious to see how he responds. Because, again, what do we have next week? You have Aaron Rodgers. Now you have Russell Wilson. And then the next week you have, guess what? Kyler Murray. Which are all kind of baseball-type live arm. They throw that back shoulder fade. All of them do that. So you better fix something. You can't trot that out anymore. Not these next 2 weeks. And these next 2 weeks are key because now you're 2-1. 2-1's a good place to be. Don't be upset about that. 2-1 is a good place to be. Is it 3-0? No. 2-1 teams historically make the playoffs 53% of the time. So we're still that's the goal. You want to win the division. The Rams took care of business. Cardinals took care of business. We didn't. So now we're one game back. But we we definitely, not kind of, we 100% control our own destiny because we haven't had a divisional game yet. You win against Seattle, you win against the Cardinals, you're in business. We can beat both of those teams. There's no doubt about it. Cardinals almost lost to the damn Jacksonville Jaguars because their coach is an asshat. We think our coach struggled or whatever. No. You go watch that Cardinals game. It was borderline Little Giants. The annexation of Puerto Rico happened twice, I swear. Tobin. Yeah, I'm with you there, man. Thanks for the gift. He says prevent defense at the 50. That's not a prevent situation. Yeah, I freaking hated it, man. I hated that call too. Can't have that offensive performance in the first half. Trey time, in my opinion. No run game especially. A lot of good points, Tobin. This back-to-back weeks. We saw it versus the Eagles. Jimmy Garoppolo had his worst quarter ever versus the Eagles. He had 0 first downs. We had 1 first down this quarter. Is it improvement? Not enough. You can't keep digging yourselves into holes and having your defense bail you out. You can't do that. And they did. The defense did bail us out this time. When Garoppolo threw that interception, they had great field position. They go down, they drive all the way down, get to the 4-yard line, and that's when we got our defensive stop. And so we sit here and we're like, man, I truly do believe the defense cost us this game. However, there were moments where the defense stepped up and freaking shined. That turnover on downs in the red zone was right before the first half, just like the Eagles game, right? They started with amazing field goal position. field position because of that interception. Bosa made a few great plays versus double team. Josh Norman and Demo made that awesome tackle on the sidelines on 3rd and short to force the 4th down. They go for it, and we get a turnover on downs because of pressure. But that was early in the first half. Like, you should have responded there. So then they give up a touchdown drive. Then it's halftime, and we're down big. But we got that touchdown before the half, and it was feeling good. We come out, put up points, and get a 3 and out. Like, we put ourselves back in the position to win this game. That 3 and out to start the half by our defense was gigantic. Then we gave up a touchdown to MVS over Demo. Another huge pass interference to get them down there. But then we did another 3 and out punt. And then the prevent defense happened. So the defense actually got better, but when the offense puts you in a hole in the first half, the defense puts you in a hole in the first half, there's only so much you can overcome. There's only so much there. Sin, appreciate you as always. She says, John, is it time to change quarterbacks? I'll say this. It doesn't matter if it is time or if it's not happening. Again, there's a couple windows when the quarterback change could take place, not when it will, because again, Kyle Shanahan, screw your calendars, folks. You do not switch your quarterback going into Seattle. That is not going to happen. So Seattle's coming to San Francisco next week, but still, you don't do that. If you are planning on switching quarterbacks, it's going to be on our bye week. So again, we have Seattle next week, then we travel to Arizona to play the Cardinals, then we have a week off before the Colts. That is the time to switch. Nothing with the 49ers goals, plans, anything for this entire season has changed due to tonight. Obviously, you want to win the damn game and go 3-0, but you still have not played any divisional games. So Kyle Shanahan's not rash. He's not impulsive. So we're not going to see that. So even if I think I want Trey Lance to get more snaps, 100%. I would like a little bit more of an organic. Again, we saw some Trey Lance plays. I think he only got in on 2 plays. I would like that to get up to 10. That sounds awesome to me. That's what I would do next week. But we'll kind of see what that looks like. From PG, sorry, I can't pronounce your name. It sounds awesome. It says Jimmy was responsible for 2 turnovers. Yep. Yeah, any starting quarterback has no business doing that backwards pass. Oh my gosh, just the weakness of it. It's not so much the decision-making process. It was I'm going to shy away and turn away. Like you replay that and it just like burns into your head. Like, dude, this dude's he's not passing the test. He's not. You see Debo, like this fan base loves Debo. We love Juice. We love Kittle. We love these like hardcore Fred Warner, Bosa with these tough like primal silverback, right? Like that's who we are. That's our identity. That doesn't fit that identity. That doesn't fit it. Trey Lance, that fits it. And I do want to say this too. How awesome was it? Trey Lance comes in. That was the gutsiest call ever. Again, let's focus on some positives. Kyle Shanahan goes out there and punts at the midfield line when it's 4th and 1. Nobody liked that call. Kyle Shanahan didn't like that call. But then responds to that by going for it with 2 seconds left on the 1-yard line, 4th and 1, when you're down 17 points. And gets it. The huevos on our head coach. That was an incredible call. It was a great read. It was executed perfectly. You know, Trey Lance uses his speed, gets outside, walks in, and got to say this, Trent Williams had an incredible block to lead that touchdown. But one of the things that I just think is just so incredible to Trey Lance, he scores his first rushing touchdown in the NFL, Trey Lance does. What does he do after he scores his first touchdown? Did y'all see this? Gives the ball to Trent Williams, who led the way in for him, and lets him spike it. His first time as an NFL pro. Scores his first rushing touchdown. Here you go, man. Big man, you spike it. He's different. He's different. And as much as we all want to jump and overreact to this, I don't think it's time to switch yet. And even if I did think it was time to switch yet, no way in hell Kyle's going to do that yet. The future is bright. We still have a 21-year-old quarterback that just has so much potential. So the 49ers season is in great hands. Do we have some major issues? Yeah, you bet your rear end it did. Alexis, number 27, please quit. Just quit. Yeah, when they put number 27 in the game on the outside, I've been on record a lot of times like, that dude is not an outside corner. He's not even close to an outside corner. He's way off. In the slot, I'm okay with. It's not ideal, but I'll take it. Anyway, real quick before, we got a lot more stuff to get into, so don't go anywhere. Do got to pay some bills. Want to say thank you to my bookie. All right, winning season has started off hot. We're doing really well, but my bookies continuing to crank up the heat with a $50,000 Survivor contest. Here's the deal. Whether you're a new or existing customer, it doesn't matter. If you make a deposit with my bookie using our promo code 49ers, 49ERS, you're going to get an entry into the $50,000 Survivor contest absolutely free. To play, all you got to do is pick one winner a week. Keep that streak alive. You got a shot to win the grand prize. So head over there, mybookie.ag. Use promo code 49ers, 49ERS. Double your first deposit. Get instant access to the $50,000 Survivor pool. Again, that's promo code 49ers. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right, now we would have hit pretty big this week, but the 49ers did not take care of business, which hurt. That hurt a lot, which is a bummer. Now, having said all of that, I really do feel like, man, we still had a pretty good week. And so I want to go through some of my predictions and keys to the game. Listen to this. Again, these are copy and pasted from the episode that I do before the game. So you can go back and look at it. It's the scouting report, predictions, all those things. Okay, here's what I said. Real quick, Devontae Adams is going to go off, but that's okay. If that's all they have, we win. You cannot let MVS go deep. That is my main concern this game. All right, so how did we handle that one? We didn't handle it at all. He had 3 catches, 59 yards, and a touchdown. He had a 47-yard one. Again, we lost this game by 1 point. Or 2 points, sorry. Again, he was a main difference in those things. Then we talked about rushing attempts. We needed 125 yards rushing to guarantee this win. We didn't get anywhere close to that. In fact, we barely got halfway. We had 21 rush attempts for 67 yards. That ain't it. Sermon had 1 rushing touchdown. Trey Lance had another rushing touchdown, which usually, if I would have told you, oh, Trey Sermon's going to have a rushing touchdown, Lance is too, you're going to be like, all right, feeling pretty good. Rushing was trash. We averaged 3.2 yards per rush. That ain't going to do it. I said Kittle's finally go off. I said he'd get 6 catches for 88 yards. He got 7 catches for 92 yards. I said Eric Armstead would get his very first sack. That happened. I did say Bosa would get 2 sacks. I was off on that one. He didn't get any sacks this game. Eric Armstead was the only sack. We did get 3 tackles for loss and 2 quarterback hits. But that is it. Nick Bosa did have a quarterback hit. I also said Brandon Ayuk would have 3 catches. He had 4 catches for 37 yards and a touchdown. Again, back to positives. And I think that these are the things that are important. I said the 49ers would win 31-21. 31 points would have done it. If we would have had 1 more field goal, 1 less Jimmy turnover, we would have been able to get this dub. But it is what it is. This is where we are. Now, again, back to positives. Because I think Brandon Ayuk, that's a positive. It's a positive that we were forced to go away from Debo. Jair Alexander's better than advertised, by the way. He was in our players to watch out for, and they had him shadowing Debo. And it took Debo out of the game for a large majority of it. And Jimmy G was having a hard time processing and getting the ball where it needed to be. And a few times, even in the fourth quarter, on the touchdown drive, the best pass of the game, I think, was Jimmy Garoppolo on that deep out route to the left side where it hit Debo in the chest, but he had his arm pinned, hit Debo in the chest, and the ball hit the ground. Like, Debo got 0 space all game, and Garoppolo was still fitting it in. And I think another thing that we're going to see whenever we watch all 22, and if you haven't joined us on Patreon, we go through every single play on offense and defense the entire game, and with coach's tape. So we get to see the all 22, we get to see the end zone, and we go through it all. It's over 2 hours of coverage to figure out why and to learn why all these things happen. If you want to join us there, go to patreon.com, type in 49ers Rush Podcast, join us there. You want to try it out? I've got over 200 hours of breakdowns. You want to learn more about football? That's the place to do it. It's the same thing I do with my players whenever I coach, which I get to do tomorrow. I'm excited about that. Sit down, watch the game film, coach everybody up, help everybody understand the game and the way that works. If you join us and you don't like it, I'll refund all your money. It's only $8 a month. Literally, it comes out to less than a quarter an hour, which, man, maybe I should raise my prices, but I don't want to do that. But anyway, head over there, support the podcast. It's a great way to go. And trust me, everybody that joins it over there, I think they really enjoy it. A lot of positive feedback, over 200 plus satisfied customers. Now, injuries, all right? This is an issue. K'Wan Williams, calf, first drive. You saw him on the sideline just pissed off. Josh Norman, he went out. He had, I think it was a chest issue. Number 27 went out, came back in. Luckily, he came back in because Ambry Thomas was inactive. And because he was inactive, we had no other corners. It was really, really bad. Debo, he was slow to get up once. Looks like he got hit in the ribs, just lost his breath. He came back, played very, very well. And the Jimmy Garoppolo limping after getting tripped. When that happened, we were down. And I was like, is this it? Is this the moment where Trey Lance comes in and everything changes? Turns out Jimmy led the drive. We got to stay with that. The biggest critique we've had of Jimmy, there's two of them, maybe three. Doesn't throw the deep ball well. We didn't solve that problem. Bonehead turnovers, definitely didn't solve that turnover. But the clutch moments, doing enough to win the game. He did it, guys and girls. Don't take that away. Don't take that away. Jeremy, yeah, Ayuk dropped a touchdown. Hit him in the hands. Again, that was Jimmy. I think it got tipped before it got to Ayuk. I went back and watched it. So it wasn't like as easy as whatever. But again, Debo had like 3 drops. Ayuk had a drop. Trey Sermon had a drop. And so when your quarterback's struggling with confidence early, like what we have with our quarterback, you got to help him out. And we're not helping him out. That's not happening yet. So fix that, right? Start catching the damn ball. We're just not doing that. And as long as those things continue, yeah, I think we're going to have issues. Another huge positive, special freaking teams, baby. Man, that return by Trenton Cannon right before the half, without that, I don't think the 49ers fight back. That 50-yard return. When was the last time we had a returner that could do that? I can't even go back to win. The dark part of my soul just said LaMichael James in a sarcastic voice in the back of my head, and now I'm mad at Harbaugh. But Trenton Cannon, that was huge. Not only that return by Trenton Cannon, which was awesome, he also made 2 awesome tackles in the punt game as a gunner. So, man, what a great find there, because that propelled us to get back into the game. And that's something that, special teams has been working against us for 5 years. So we won the game special teams-wise tonight. I know that they hit that, clutch kick, the walk-off kick, but special teams-wise, we had a much better game. Mitch hit another awesome punt, which, again, flipped field position, and they got no points off that. We got a 3 and out. So, I think some of those things are there, and I like that. Other negatives we haven't talked about just yet. How do you stop a team from quick passing? That's a question that I'm not sure we have the answer with our defensive scheme. The blueprint's out. And I say the blueprint's out. We gave up 30 points. It's not like, they ran all over us. They threw for 261 yards. It's not like that's incredible or insurmountable. It's not. That's average in the NFL. But we were exposed. So take that for what you will. I appreciate you guys. You are the absolute best. Thanks for all the support. I got to jump off here. I will be back. We go live 4 times, man. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be back. And as always, as I lose my voice right here, stay strong, faithful.